The following is an extremely short extract of Tommy Robinson's visit to a Palestinian refugee camp in Palestine, Israel.
They viewed as martyrs because they attacked Israel, because they attacked Jews.
Yeah, that's actually because he's getting involved in the military activity of Fatah during the Second Intifada. You find that support is still running, and we have decreasing of the services. That is the thing that
So there's more money and more aid going into refugee camps, but in the refugee camps the situation gets worse.
It gets worse.
So the biggest thing that shocks me is that for 50 years there's been aid donations and marches and everything about freeing Gaza, and you come here and there ain't even one part. What are they spending all the money on for the kids? That's what gets me. All the money's supposed to be about how all we hear about at home is how.
Right, hold on, I'm going to cover over. Hold on a minute. So it's a very short extract, and you can read a lot from it. Tommy appears not to know, for example, that the Palestinian refugees have been denied the right of return. They're not allowed to return to their homeland. Like when the Zionists first started arriving in Israel-Palestine, 90%, 95% of the country of Israel-Palestine was controlled, owned by Arabs. Now it's like 10%, 5%. So Tommy appears to not know they're there. They're there in the refugee camp because they're denied the right of return to their homeland. He appears to not know that in the Nakba uprising, 70,000 Palestinians were made homeless. He complains about the conditions in the camp. He appears not to know of the Israeli blockades and the Zionist denying of rights and goods and services to the refugee camps, which the guy mentioned. Tommy just blanked it. Tommy obviously just went over his head. Tommy calls the freedom fighters, he calls them terrorists. Whether we can have a debate about are they freedom fighters or are they terrorists, that's a debate. But Tommy's obviously been fed only one side of the story. He's there with Brian of London. By all accounts, Brian of London is an extremist Zionist. Simon Harris had extensive communication with Brian of London, and eventually he stopped communication because he found Brian of London to be such an extremist. Brian of London, who lives in Tel Aviv, was responsible for running the early English Defence League, the website, and he's been a friend of Tommy for years. When Tommy goes on holiday to Israel, he hangs out with Brian of London. He's in that refugee camp with Brian of London or Brian of Tel Aviv. So Tommy's obviously been ill-informed about what Zionism actually is. Just in this very short extract, you can see that he's ignorant of some basic facts. He doesn't even know, he appears to not know, that the refugees have been denied the right of return. He appears to be unaware of the human rights violations inflicted on the Palestinians by the Zionist Jews and the Israelis. So in that little extract, it says a lot about Tommy's opinion about Zionism. Okay, bye.